Welcome to Athletes Lives Network exclusive interviews. Today our guest is arguably one of the greatest players to ever play in the state of Indiana, Pete Turkovich. How you doing, sir?
Good.
Good. I want to thank you for being on the website. This is an awesome opportunity to get your history as well as just your knowledge on in Indiana basketball. So basically, first question there, just kind of give us a brief history of your early influences in sports.
Oh, well, that's a simple question. My dad, my uncles, and everybody, they used to bring me to the games when I was 7 years old to Chicago, Washington, to watch the Senators play. And that just happened to be 1960, the year that they won the state championship. And from there, it was just, I had the love, I had the passion, I had the fever. It was all about, basketball at that point.
I got you. So you went to Block Junior High School, or like?
No, I came from the parochial school system. I went to Holy Trinity Croatian. So I was really one of the only guys from that team in '71 that didn't grow up through the East Chicago school system.
Okay. So how did it feel, being from a different school environment and coming to Washington? Was it a transition for you?
Oh, big transition. Everybody wanted me to go to Bishop Knoll. I came from a Catholic school, and parents wanted me to go to Catholic school. At least I know my mother did. But I wanted to come to East Chicago, Washington, to play for John Barato. That was my whole intention. So. There was some arguments. John Barato and Bobby Cantrell came to my house to talk to my parents after they had to convince my mom that it was the right thing to do, and the rest is history. That's why I went to East Chicago, Washington.
Okay, so as a freshman, can you give us a little feedback on your goals as a freshman at East Chicago, Washington?
Well, I can remember going there, and I had one of the best coaches that I feel I had was Bob Cantrell, who was a member of that '60 championship team, was a captain of the Michigan team in college, and also was a Trust Award winner. Don't forget, as far as our whole team is concerned, we had Darnell Bailey and Reuben Bailey and Tim Stoddard, who all played varsity as freshmen. So when we came in, we were just, everybody developed differently, whether it was physically or whether it was emotionally. But I was on the freshman team, and the competition was great, and I learned a lot that year.
Okay. So now you're a sophomore at East Chicago, Washington. Sorry. Now.
Yeah, don't say that again.
Now give us your goals as a sophomore.
Well, I made the JV team, and I was actually able late in the season to start dressing for the varsity. So I didn't play not many varsity minutes. I can remember, getting in once or twice, but I played on the JV team again. I played on JV, and again, you got guys like Tim Stoddard and Darnell Adell and Reuben Bailey were playing varsity. So it was all a process. We were just trying to get better. I just loved the sport. I loved the play. I lived in the playgrounds, lived in the parks, lived in the gyms in the summertime. And that's how I got better.
Got you. Now you mentioned about Mr. Bailey, Mr. Stutter playing varsity as freshmen and sophomores, but you wasn't playing. Was you upset about that? Did you lose any confidence or anything?
No, not at all. It wasn't a competition between us. They were better. They were ready for varsity. I certainly wasn't.
Okay. Now going to your junior year. Now give us your goals.
Well, going into the junior, we were so stacked. We had. I think maybe 12 different starting lineups, 12 different guys that started. Again, the goal was, you're competing with your team to try to form a team. So we had, obviously, the guys I graduated with, but we also had a guy named Floyd Williams, who was a starter, and then Junior Bridgman's brother Sam was a starter, and then Junior came in. So I started a few games that year. I don't know how many, but I know there were a few games where I didn't even get off the bench. Coach Mola didn't even put me in.
Wow. Now, the 1970 season ended with East Chicago Roosevelt winning the state championship. Just give us a little feedback on that playoff run you guys had during that year, during your junior season.
We peaked at the right time. We were ready for them. We had a regular season game, which was about, I'd say, 3 weeks earlier, where it was billed as the game of the decade, and we just didn't show up. East Chicago Roosevelt just took it to us and beat us by 23 points. And then by the time we got it together and we were ready and we were playing really well in the sectional, we met them, and we ended up losing by 3 points to obviously the eventual state champions. And a ball bounce one way or the other, we might have been able to win that game.